Mansa Musa is widely regarded as one of the richest people in history. His extraordinary wealth, generous gifts, and successful leadership made him famous not only in Africa but also across Europe and the Middle East. Although he lived more than 700 years ago, historians continue to study his life because of the enormous influence he had on trade, education, religion, and culture. His story demonstrates how wise leadership and valuable natural resources can transform a kingdom into a powerful empire. While his incredible fortune often attracts the most attention, Mansa Musa's lasting achievements were far greater than the gold he possessed. Mansa Musa ruled the Mali Empire during the early 14th century. The empire was located in West Africa and included parts of several modern countries, such as Mali, Senegal, Guinea, Niger, and Mauritania. At that time, Mali was one of the largest and most prosperous kingdoms in the world. It controlled important trade routes across the Sahara Desert, connecting West Africa with North Africa and the Mediterranean region. These routes allowed merchants to exchange gold, salt, ivory, cloth, and many other valuable goods. Very little is known about Mansa Musa's early life. Historians believe he was born around 1280 into the royal family of Mali. Before becoming ruler, he was carefully educated in politics, leadership, and religious traditions. He became emperor around 1312 after the previous ruler left on an ocean expedition and never returned. As the new leader, Mansa Musa inherited a wealthy kingdom with strong trade connections, but he also worked hard to strengthen and expand its influence throughout the region. One of the main reasons for Mali's enormous wealth was its abundant supply of gold. During the 14th century, West Africa produced a large share of the world's gold, and much of it came from mines controlled by the Mali Empire. Gold was highly valuable because it was widely used to make coins, jewelry, and luxury goods. Merchants from many different countries traveled across the Sahara Desert hoping to buy this precious metal. By controlling both the gold mines and the trade routes, Mali became one of the richest empires of its time. In addition to gold, salt was another important source of wealth. Although salt may seem ordinary today, it was extremely valuable during the Middle Ages because it helped preserve food and was essential for human health. Large blocks of salt were transported across the desert by camel caravans and exchanged for gold and other products. This trade created strong economic connections between West Africa and the Islamic world. Under Mansa Musa's leadership, these commercial networks continued to expand, bringing even greater prosperity to the empire. Mansa Musa is especially remembered for his famous pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324. According to Islamic tradition, every Muslim who is physically and financially able should make this journey at least once during their lifetime. Mansa Musa decided to fulfill this religious duty in a way that amazed the world. His caravan included thousands of soldiers, servants, officials, merchants, and attendants. Hundreds of camels carried large quantities of gold, food, clothing, and other supplies needed for the long journey across the desert. As Mansa Musa traveled through cities such as Cairo, he distributed enormous amounts of gold to the poor, religious institutions, and local leaders. His generosity impressed everyone who met him. However, historians believe that giving away so much gold had unexpected economic consequences. The sudden increase in the amount of gold available in some cities reduced its value, causing prices to rise and affecting local economies for several years. This event is often mentioned as one of the earliest recorded examples of how the supply of money can influence economic conditions. The pilgrimage made Mansa Musa internationally famous. Merchants, travelers, and scholars returned home with stories about the incredibly wealthy ruler from West Africa. European mapmakers even began including the Mali Empire on their maps. One famous map created in 1375 shows Mansa Musa sitting on a throne while holding a large piece of gold in his hand. This image helped spread his reputation across Europe and introduced many people to the existence of the powerful West African kingdom. Despite his extraordinary wealth, Mansa Musa did not spend all his resources on luxury. Instead, he invested heavily in education, religion, and architecture. After returning from Mecca, he invited scholars, architects, and teachers from different parts of the Islamic world to visit Mali. These experts helped construct beautiful mosques, schools, and libraries, while encouraging the spread of knowledge throughout the empire. His support for learning transformed Mali into one of the leading intellectual centers of Africa. One of Mansa Musa's greatest achievements was the development of the city of Timbuktu. Although Timbuktu was already an important trading center before his reign, it became even more famous under his leadership. New mosques, universities, and libraries attracted students and scholars from many countries. People traveled long distances to study subjects such as mathematics, astronomy, medicine, law, literature, and theology. The city became known as a place where knowledge was highly respected, demonstrating that Mali's wealth supported both commerce and education. The University of Sankore in Timbuktu became one of the most respected centers of learning in the medieval world. Thousands of handwritten manuscripts were copied, studied, and preserved there. These books covered a wide variety of subjects and reflected the advanced scholarship that existed in West Africa. Today, many of these ancient manuscripts continue to be studied because they provide valuable information about African history, science, literature, and culture. Mansa Musa's support for education helped create an intellectual legacy that lasted long after his death. Historians often debate exactly how wealthy Mansa Musa truly was. It is almost impossible to calculate his fortune using modern measurements, because the global economy has changed greatly over the centuries. Nevertheless, many experts believe that his personal wealth exceeded that of almost any other ruler in history. Since he controlled vast gold resources and ruled one of the richest empires of his time, his fortune would likely be worth hundreds of billions of dollars in today's terms. For this reason, he is frequently described as the richest person who ever lived. Mansa Musa's leadership also contributed to political stability within the Mali Empire. Strong administration, successful trade, and diplomatic relationships with neighboring regions helped maintain peace and prosperity during much of his reign. His government encouraged commerce by protecting trade routes and supporting merchants. As a result, goods moved more safely across the Sahara, strengthening economic connections between Africa, Europe, and Asia. Although Mansa Musa died around 1337, his influence continued for many years. Later rulers inherited an empire that had gained international recognition for its wealth and cultural achievements. However, over time, political conflicts, changing trade routes, and external pressures gradually weakened the Mali Empire. Even so, the achievements of Mansa Musa remain an important chapter in world history. His reign demonstrates that medieval Africa contained powerful kingdoms with advanced economies, thriving educational institutions, and rich cultural traditions. Today, historians emphasize the importance of studying leaders like Mansa Musa because they challenge outdated ideas about African history. For many years, some people underestimated the achievements of African civilizations before European colonization. Research has shown that kingdoms such as Mali played significant roles in global trade, scholarship, and diplomacy. Learning about Mansa Musa helps create a more complete understanding of world history by recognizing the contributions of civilizations from every continent. To sum up, Mansa Musa was far more than an incredibly wealthy ruler. His remarkable fortune brought worldwide attention to the Mali Empire, but his greatest accomplishments lay in his support for education, religion, architecture, and international trade. Through wise leadership and generous patronage, he transformed Mali into one of the most respected kingdoms of the medieval world. His famous pilgrimage, investment in learning, and encouragement of cultural exchange left a lasting legacy that continues to inspire historians today. Remembering Mansa Musa reminds us that true greatness is measured not only by wealth, but also by the positive influence a leader leaves on future generations.